All right. Thanks everybody for having me speak today, and thanks for sticking around. It's been a long day, I know. My name is Paul Elsila. I'm with Livio, and today I want to speak to you about the SDL project and some of the accomplishments over the last year, as well as what we'll be working on in the future, and the features and enhancements to this project that are and will be available to developers and OEMs, giving them greater opportunities for developing for automotive. Real quick, a little bit about us. Livio is, we began as a consumer electronics company in 2008 in Michigan. Around 2010, we pivoted to software, and as a result, we were acquired by Ford in about 2013, based on our knowledge around the connectivity space. We're right now, when we were acquired, we were a team of about 10 people. Today we're a team of 18. We're still looking to grow. The small team of 18 people that we have are basically 100% dedicated to this project, and the team is made up of mostly software engineers, specialized in embedded mobile, so Android and iOS, full stack development, and then we also have some interaction design and some project managers on our staff. For the last couple of years, we've been the official project maintainer of Smart Device Link, and we're going to continue to do so over the next few years. I'll talk a few minutes just about the consortium. I think Doug covered some of this stuff earlier, but I want to make sure that I point out our members. And we were officially founded in late 2016, making 2017 our first full year in operation. And at the time, we started with just 2 committed members. We had Ford and Toyota, and it was a little unknown how many members would come on board. But shortly after, right after Ford and Toyota, we had Suzuki join us at the top level, which is our diamond level. And then shortly after that, we had Mazda and Subaru join as well at the platinum level, which is our level 2. So giving us 5 OEMs to start was really strong, and I think it exceeded some of our expectations. So really great. We started moving on, and today we have 41 members. So you can see on this slide our entire member list. You can also find this on our website. We keep this updated, so anytime a new member joins, you can see how this organization is growing. We have about 10 OEMs. The membership is also made up of suppliers, system integrators, and content providers. I want to highlight how strong 2018 was as far as membership. So in gold and silver membership, we brought on 16 new members in 2018, and has really allowed the project to move forward from a funding perspective. You can see that basically every month, except March, we've had new members join. So we're getting stronger and stronger. We have 41 members to date. And it's really exciting for us to keep having members join and be interested in this project. Obviously, after this conference and some of the shows that we've done over the year, we're hoping that this continues to grow, and then in 2019 we'll be even stronger than we are today. I want to talk a little bit about the presences that we've had at different trade shows this year, because they've gotten us quite far as an organization. The first show we do every year is CES. It's Livio's 4th year exhibiting SDL technology this year, and it was our strongest presence. We had 10 total demonstrations. In years past, it was tough because we're always trying to get somebody to show what they had, and with the maturity of the project, we struggled to get relevant demonstrations. And this year, we had a 20 by 40 booth, and we had to pack it full of partners and members just to show everything that was possible. Everybody cooperated great. It was a lot of quick planning. We had a short time frame. We typically start planning in October, so everybody came together. It was a great show. I'll take you through some of the demonstrations that we had. So one of the questions we get every year, and it got a little tiring, but what mobile navigation solutions are available? And it's, every year we're working on it, but when will they be available to the consumer, on and on. And this year was great because we were able to show the choices that are now available through SDL for mobile navigation. We had Waze, which has launched on Ford, Sygic, who has been with us at a number of shows over the last few years. We had TomTom, and all of these were shown in the booth on Ford hardware, but using SDL. Also along this one wall in our booth, we had Electrobit, and Electrobit showed their solution that allowed customers to give voice feedback and using SDL to gather vehicle data along with that feedback to provide back to OEMs. So a different use case, really cool demo that they showed. Everything works great, and those members all were present with us the whole time. They, is my mic out? They staffed the booth, they answered questions, they were really helpful. It was great. Luxoft also, we had another wall with more members showing. We had Luxoft, who, along with the voice type demo, they had a translation service that they showed, allowing, if you have somebody in the car that speaks a different language, you can translate in the car. We also had Amazon showing their Alexa app on Ford hardware, and then of course we had Ford and Toyota showing their SDL implementations as our founding members. On the another part of the booth, we had a demonstration from a non-SDLC member, which was Spirion, and what they did is they showed a demo of a fleet management solution using SDL. So it was a total new use case that we had, and the story with this is that they contacted us, I think, probably around October. And the show's in January, so it's a really short period of time, and they asked, hey, we like SDL, we'd like to try something. Can we get some support and put a demo together? Unfortunately, with our responsibilities at the time, we didn't have resources to dedicate to them, so we had to tell them, if you want to do something, you have to do it on your own. They went back, they looked at it, and within 2 weeks, they came back to us and said, hey, I think we can do something. And they basically took SDL and built a proof of concept from scratch and showed what they could do with a fleet management system to enhance their customers' experience with fleet management. So it was pretty cool to see somebody come through and prove out that the project has gotten to a point where a group like Spirion could come in, take the project from scratch and get something, just like this hackathon. We had, in 24 hours, we had people with working code up and running. So Spirion was there, they had a great demo. It was really good to see. The last demo is something that Livio does every year, is we take SDL and we try to see what we can do with it to take SDL to the next level. We can push it to its boundaries. And what we ended up doing is proving out a rideshare application that allowed a passenger and a driver to connect with each other, and then expanded from there to allow the passenger a better experience by giving them control of safe modules during the ride. So the way the demo went is, a passenger requests a ride, and the driver integration and an embedded music player were built into the head unit, and the passenger's phone connected out to the cloud. So when the passenger requests a ride, an alert shows on the driver's screen through SDL. And so the request is basically sent out to the cloud, and then the server communicates back to all the known registered vehicles in the area with an alert. And so from there, the driver can, from the screen in the car, the driver can accept the ride. and the locations are shared back and forth. Driver starts the ride once the passenger enters, and once that ride is started, it passed control to the passenger, allowing them to control safe modules in the car. And in this case, they were able to control the music and the climate. So this year it was great because we were able to show a number of different use cases, different possibilities that exist with SDL. And it was a lot of fun. So I want to thank everybody that showed up and made CES this year a great success. Once we leave CES every year, we jump right into MWC, Barcelona, because it's just a month away. This year, SDLC partnered with Ford Dev, as we did the last 2 years, so this would be our 3rd year. And considerably smaller space. We ended up only having 3 partner demonstrations. We had Livio, we showed the Beam demo again. We had Toyota coming with their implementation. And then we had a new demo, which was PSA. So PSA is a member of SDLC, and they said, hey, we have something that's going to be ready. We'd like to show it. We hadn't seen it until we got there, and we were pleasantly surprised. It was a great demo. It worked. It was sharp. Everything looked great. And I think the best story to come out of MWC was that on the Ford Dev side of the booth, they had Cygic there again. And Cygic was working on Ford hardware. And they have their production app that's working. And as we're talking and people are introducing themselves, Cygic decided, or somebody said, well, if we're using the latest version of SDL and PSA is developed with the latest version of Core, we should be able to plug in and it should just work. And here we are on a show floor, there's people around and everybody's kind of looking around. So, all right, try it. A little anxiety sets in and whether it's going to work or not. And sure enough, they plug it in, and everything worked great. So we're really happy to see that this project is working. And obviously, the idea is that app developers do one implementation, and they can work across multiple OEMs. And at this show in Barcelona, it worked right in front of our faces, right in front of everybody. And we ended up using that demo throughout the week. And when potential members would come up, potential adopters came up, we would be able to say, well, watch this, and we grab Cygic, go over to the PSA demo, plug it in, go back to Ford, and see how it worked across different head units. That brings us to this show, the 3rd show that we do every year. And we have, with this show, we have sponsors this year that made the show possible. So I want to make sure that I recognize them. Ford and Toyota and Telematics, Abalta, Cygic, and Zevo. And so starting today and running through Friday, we do have a show floor presence here in the South Hall. So if you go downstairs into, I think booth 2736 is what it is, you're going to be able to go down there and see what some of these members and sponsors have done, and you'll be able to see their demos. They'll talk you through them, answer questions, and I think you can really see what's possible. So hopefully we'll see everybody there. For the next part of this, I want to talk a little bit about the process with SDL and what we've gotten accomplished. So every week we have a steering committee meeting, which is a working level meeting. All the members are, I'm sure, very familiar with this. This year, we have moved 113 proposals through this evolution process. Last year in 17, we moved 68 through, so you can see that things are moving quicker. We have 97 accepted proposals out of those 113. That number is up from 56 last year. And then 48 of those proposals have actually been implemented, and that number is up from 29 last year. So you can see that this is moving. We have more members making contributions. So 5 different SDLC members have made these proposals and worked on these, and as well as Livio. We put a lot of proposals through and do a lot of development. So for the product highlights of these proposals, we had, we're always working on our developer portal, which is smartdevicelink.com. This year we'll have 7 proxy releases, so 3 of those Android, 4 iOS. 2 core releases, and 3 policy server releases. On the developer portal, I want to highlight a little bit of the increase in traffic, which shows the success of this project and the interest in this project from the developer community, the OEMs, the adopters. More than 51,000 new visitors to the site, over 16,000 returning visitors, and then 819 new members. So these aren't the members, the paying members like the Fords and Toyotas of the world, but rather app developers who have created profiles on this developer portal, making it over 1,500 member accounts on the portal and over 400,000 page views. So there's a lot more interest. We see the traffic driving up, and it's great. Everybody's interested in this and coming out to check out this developer portal and find all the information. For these next slides, there's a lot that goes into these releases. There's a lot of work, and there are a lot of features, a lot of bug fixes, enhancements, and so on. So I'm just going to go through these relatively quickly and talk about maybe a couple highlights of each release. For SDL Core, 4.5, a minor release, included connectivity or IAP over Bluetooth. So now it's possible to connect an iOS device over Bluetooth rather than having to plug in with USB. 5.0, which will be released in October, so we'll be back to the office and working on this with the steering committee and back at Livio. But app developers can now provide a custom color scheme for their app. But what this allows is OEMs can still control the layout and design while allowing the apps, some amount of branding and customization. Also, the new remote control support for lights, audio, HMI settings, and seat controls are in this release. And the remote control is the feature that I was discussing about the Beam demo that Livio showed. For iOS, we had, these are the 4 releases here. Automatic video streaming, which makes mobile navigation possible. Updated the lock screen. 5.2 with a screen manager. 6.0, we added some API documentation, added a Swift example app, expanded the Objective-C example app, and added a menu manager. For Android 4.5, this is basically general enhancements and stability fixes to the multiplexing transport feature. 4.6, SDL proxy builder was cleaned up to remove some redundant variables. And let me see here, we have some updates to Shade. So Shade is our shared app information server. If you're not familiar, it commonizes app developers' information across OEMs. So some of the things we did here, we introduced application versioning. So we now store a history of every change that developers make to their SDL application, requested permissions and registration data. So this is used to send updates to the OEM policy servers and allows us to potentially offer revision history and the ability to revert changes to the application moving forward. We also made some enhancements to support GDPR compliance. So the EU introduced new data protection regulation. And what we did is we evaluated and then strengthened the security of SDLC's web services to accommodate those regulations and in many cases exceed. For the centralized OEM approval tracking, we're basically taking initial steps to allow third-party developers to see and manage their application's distribution status across multiple OEMs. And this can all be done from their developer account on smartdevicelink.com. So all those new members, they're able to do this right from their developer account at smartdevicelink.com. And then real-time app approval synchronization to the Android router validation service. Previously, when an Android application was approved by the SDLC for the first time, there was a delay for the application to actually be allowed to act as a data transport proxy. Now it's authorized immediately. So good enhancements to that. Things are working much better. Good progress there. For the policy server, there are a number of things we've done here. But the policy server is an example server showing how an OEM would grant certain permissions to app developers. We made a front-end interface for OEMs to manage the permissions they grant to app partners, and then a number of security and performance improvements. Part of that is also introducing the ability to blacklist an application and revoke all permissions should there be an application that is problematic to an OEM. As far as, so those are just like high-level things I wanted to share with you. Again, there's a lot that goes into these releases. We've gotten a lot done. We've moved extremely fast, I think, given the resources that are available and working so closely with so many members. So I'm really happy with the progress this year. I want to thank everybody that contributed to it. Our team, all the members, everybody that joins these steering committee calls, really good work this year, and we're looking forward to next year. So with that, we're going to look forward to the final releases in 2018. We'll continue to work closely with the steering committee and all of our members. We'll be working on a roadmap for 2019 and executing that. Again, we plan to have presence at the same shows next year. So we're going to get back. We're going to start planning for CES. We're going to start planning for Mobile World Congress. And then hopefully we'll be right back here with another presence at MWC Americas. And, we urge everybody to get involved and come to us, talk to us about what you'd be interested in showing, and see if we can get you highlighted in one of our presences somewhere. I guess, you can reach out to me at this address up here on the screen. You can look at the developer portal. We also have a Slack channel. I urge everybody, if you haven't been there, go to the developer portal. You can join our Slack channels and ask specific questions, get the support you need. Our team has put together a white paper, which is a high-level, comprehensive overview of the SDL project. It's very informative. Make sure you take a look at that. And again, thank you everybody for sticking around today. Congratulations to Hackathon winner. Come see us downstairs. And I think that's about it for me. I think I'll turn over to Scott now. And you're going to wrap up for the day? All right.